Hello, everyone. Facebook Live has changed since I last used it. So give me just a moment and I'm gonna flip-flop my screen. There, okay, good. Now you can read my notes. Okay, let me adjust this just a teensy bit and then I think we're good to go. All right, let's do this. Hello, my name is Melissa. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Let me adjust, there we go. I gotta get situated. We are ready, here we are. My name is Melissa. I'm HealthWare's registered dietitian and personal trainer. I'm so glad to be here with you. This is our Carb Smart class. What is this, the second week of the month? And we are doing these classes on Thursdays now. So I'm glad you're here. If you're live or watching a recorded version later on, welcome. Today for our Carb Smart class, we are talking about managing carbs and blood sugar during the holidays. Oh, I see Kat is watching. Hello, Kat. You're welcome to say hi if you're watching. Happy to see hello or waves. So, managing carbs and blood sugar during the holidays. The holidays are coming up very, very soon. I know Halloween is just around the corner, but some even more difficult holidays, would I say, are coming up too. It's just that time of year. So I figured let's talk about it now before we get all into the holidays. So during this holiday season, make a promise to put yourself at the top of your priority list. It's hard work to stay on course with managing your blood sugar throughout the year, whether you have diabetes or pre-diabetes or neither, if you just want to try to keep things managed. And the holiday season has the potential to throw you off with many things, right? Weight loss, healthy eating in general, exercise, everything. So even with COVID-19 still going on, there will still be traveling and parties and drinking and big meals and snack foods at the office, all of which create a challenging environment for eating healthy, whatever your goal is. Add to that the days of traveling to family or friend events with little scheduled exercise time, and it becomes a very big effort to stay on track. Today, we're going to talk about some tips to help you manage your carbohydrate intake and your blood sugar levels, while also letting you enjoy the holiday events with everyone else. Though, of course, just like everything else with prediabetes or diabetes, if you have either of those conditions, you do have to take a few extra steps to make sure that you're staying healthy for what you need. So let's start with some tips about holidays that involve a big meal. So number one, eat breakfast or snacks earlier in the day and avoid the idea of saving your carbohydrates for the big feast later on. If you skip meals, it actually can be harder to manage your blood sugar. We want to have a consistent supply of glucose going in, so starving yourself all day and then having a giant meal once in the day is not the best approach. Number two is to limit the number of servings of the starchy foods that you put on your plate. So it might be tempting to have mashed potatoes and sweet potato casserole and rolls. However, try to choose just one of those items if possible, or instead have only a few spoonfuls or bites, so small amounts if you want to try multiple types. Number three is to choose fruits and vegetables that are served raw, grilled, or steamed. Those are the methods that typically don't include any types of oils. Sometimes grilled does, but you really want to try avoiding the vegetables that are in creams and gravies and butter. Number four is to stick to calorie-free drinks such as water, tea, or seltzer water as much as possible instead of punch or mixed type of drinks. It doesn't take much for the body to digest carbohydrates in those liquid forms, so juices and mixed drinks can affect blood sugar much quicker and more dramatically than when you have foods that you're chewing and digesting slower. Number five that kind of goes along with this is alcohol. If you choose to drink alcohol, limit the amount and have it with food, not on an empty stomach. Alcohol affects your blood sugar and your body in general more dramatically when you consume it on an empty stomach. The recommendation for women, you may have heard this before, for moderation, women 1 drink or less per day, and men 2 drinks or less per day. Really quickly, let's talk about what 1 drink actually equates to. So 1 drink is 12 ounces of beer or 5 ounces of wine, which is a lot less than most people think. 1.5 ounces of 80 proof distilled spirits or 1 ounce of the 100 proof, the harder liquors, okay? Number 6, enjoy your favorite holiday treats, but take small portions and use mindfulness. So eat slowly, chew slowly, and be very mindful when eating so that you can savor the taste and the texture, not just rush through. If you're gonna have small amounts, you really want to enjoy those foods. 2 more in this section. And if you notice, a lot of these go along with just general healthy eating, whether it's blood sugar control, weight loss, whatever it is, these can all apply for other types of goals too, okay? So number 7, go for a walk. After your meal, take a walk with your family and friends. Exercise can get you moving, keep you focused on your goals, and give you a welcome break from being surrounded by food and treats. Exercise is also a great way to lower your blood sugar levels. I've heard it said that every minute that you walk, just a stroll, every minute that you walk can lower your blood sugar by 1 point. And there is some sort of physiology that happens when we walk. It helps us be more sensitive to insulin to help get the blood sugar out of our bloodstream. Oh, hi, Billy. Glad you're enjoying. And our last one, don't beat yourself up. So if you overindulge, don't beat yourself up about it. If you eat more carbs or more food in general than you intended to, or than you planned, don't think that you failed. Just make a plan to get back on track. I know that some people get into the mindset of, oh, I've overindulged this one meal. Now let's just overindulge the whole weekend. I've already ruined it. Let's just not care. But it's okay if one meal happened like that. Don't beat yourself up. Don't, I guess the phrase is throw the baby out with the bathwater. Is that still a phrase? Just get back on track. It's not the end of the world. It's okay. Don't let that derail the rest of your weekend or your week. So that is about a big meal, big holiday meals, Thanksgiving, Christmas, things of that nature. So next, let's talk about when you are hosting a meal. Throw that down on the ground. Okay. So when you are hosting the big meal, number 1, make sure that your menu includes healthy food choices like fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins, and it's not just a spread of those really starchy, high carbohydrate foods. Fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, make sure those are incorporated throughout your menu planning, okay? Number 2, when you are cooking, try to avoid tasting and sampling your dishes as much as possible. Of course, some is going to be necessary if you're cooking dishes, but try to minimize it as much as possible. Those calories and carbohydrates can add up and they can affect your blood sugar depending on what you're tasting or how much you are tasting. Also a helpful tip for weight management too. Number 3, if you're the host of a dinner or a meal, whatever it is, clear the table and put away the unused food as soon as you can, as soon as reasonable, to help yourself as well as your guests avoid grazing, which can just keep that blood sugar going up and up. Put that food away. The last one is if you're actually not the host necessarily, but family member or a friend is hosting a big meal, you can always offer to bring a healthy dish, something that you know that you will enjoy and that will be a good substitute for maybe some of the less healthy options available. I always like to bring a dish that I know I know that it's healthy, I know what ingredients have gone into it. I like to do that for large meals. A salad or something that's typically vegetable based, that can be very helpful if you're going to somebody else's meal. So those are a few for hosting meals in general. Now finally, we're gonna talk about those holiday parties, because those are gonna be happening probably more this year than they were last year. Although, just as a disclaimer, do be careful with COVID, since it is still out there happening in the community. But holiday parties, they are gonna happen. I hope you can read this. It's awfully small font. I tried, I did my best. So, holiday parties. Number one, like I talked about in the very, very beginning, if you're going to a big meal, don't skip meals before the party. Eat a small balanced meal or a snack before you go to the party. If you arrive hungry, starving, you're gonna be way more likely to overindulge in all of the snack foods there at the party. As we already talked about with the big meals, don't skip meals all day long and save your carbs for that party. That's not the best method for trying to keep your blood sugar under control. Number two, study all of the food options available at the party and think about what you're going to have before you put it onto your plate. Make a plan in your mind, study the table, decide which foods are worth eating, which ones you really, really want, and which foods you can just ignore. Then stick to that decision. Number three is, if you taste something you don't enjoy, maybe you made your plan, you put foods on your plate, but you don't actually like some of that food. If you taste something you don't enjoy, leave it on your plate. It's okay. You don't have to eat everything. People probably won't even notice that you left food on your plate, and it's not worth jeopardizing your blood sugar control just to make sure that you clean your plate. And I know that with certain cultures, families, friend groups, that can be a challenge. I know people have talked with me about that before. It is a challenge, that clean plate club, right? You must finish everything on your plate. You don't want to waste any food, and that is great to be mindful about. Wasting food. We don't want to waste food, but your health is very important. Your blood sugar control is very important. It's not really helping anybody if you finish every single bite on your plate. Okay. Number four is choose vegetables first. Typically, broccoli, baby carrots, cauliflower, tomatoes, those are all generally available on appetizer trays, appetizer tables, and those are great choices. Take only a small spoonful of dip or dressing if possible, or skip it entirely, but go for those fresh vegetables. Those are great choices. They may not be as delicious as the cheesecake or the cookies, right? But at least you get to participate in the party, in the eating, and you're doing something that's healthier for you and for that blood sugar control. Number five is eat chips and crackers, which are usually very available at holiday parties. Eat chips and crackers in moderation, and definitely avoid eating them straight out of the bag or a box or a bowl. Probably a bowl is more likely to be at a party. So avoid eating those straight from there. It is very difficult to know how much you're eating. We don't really realize how much we've put in if we're just eating straight from a bowl or a bag or a box. So put some on a small plate. Don't load them down with any of the heavy, creamy dips and dressings. Give yourself a portion, not the bowl. Lori said, such a good way to prepare for the holidays. Yes, that's what I was hoping for. All these tips helpful for the holidays, I hope. Even helpful for me, because we're gonna have holiday stuff happening in my life too. Just because I'm a dietitian doesn't mean I eat perfectly. So, gotta keep on track. Number 6, avoid grazing as best as you can. Try not to hang out near the food. That is a great way to help kind of avoid the grazing. Find a comfortable spot that's across the room or wherever you are, across the room from all the food tables, and focus on socializing maybe from a distance a little bit these days, right? But focus on socializing and enjoying that part of the party instead of just focusing on eating and focusing on the food. The party really is about the people you're with, right? Am I wrong about that? Typically we go to parties because of the people. Yes, the food is also a component, but the people are what we really are interested in. Number 7, if you do have diabetes, do remember to check your blood sugar throughout the holidays. Maybe even adding a few extra checks on the days that you have a party, and that can help guide your choices, kind of remind you to stay mindful about the food choices that you're making. That's if you do already have diabetes and you check your blood sugar. 2 more. Number 8, which is way down there. Sip a large glass of water. This is a helpful tip, at restaurants, eating out at any time. But this will keep you hydrated for one, which a lot of us are dehydrated, and can provide you with a better option than alcohol. Water is always a great option. It can also help fill your stomach a little bit, so you're less likely to overindulge in foods. Those low-cal or calorie-free beverages are great for keeping your mouth occupied, filling up your stomach a little bit, so you're not just eating more food. And sometimes even if we feel like we think we're hungry, we may actually just be thirsty. So having that water going in can help moderate some of those feelings. Finally, way down there, like I said after the big meal is, again, take a walk or attend your usual exercise classes or do your exercise, whatever you typically do on the day of a party. Stick to that. Get your exercise in and make it a priority rather than saying there isn't time. Do your best to fit that into your priority list. Your health is very, very important. So getting in that physical activity will only enhance your blood sugar control goals as well as whatever health goals you have going on. Get in that physical activity. So now all these things that we just talked about, this is all just talk, right? What really matters is that you actually implement some of these strategies, some of these tips into your holiday activities. It might sound silly, but I want you to take a moment to put your commitment to healthy eating into writing, sign it, date it, and keep it somewhere that you will see it. You can refer back to it, maybe even every day. Put it in writing. It's a contract with yourself for this holiday season. You can write your contract however makes sense to you. I'm gonna actually read you one, just a short little paragraph to give you an example, okay? So a holiday healthy eating contract. This is as if I was writing it, okay? I know that it is possible to enjoy the wonderful food of this holiday season and keep my blood sugar stable. Today, I make a promise to myself to make healthy food choices during this holiday season. I will balance my food intake. I will limit the sweets and desserts I eat. I will avoid grazing between meals. If I drink alcohol, I will do so in moderation. I will maintain my activity level, and I will check my blood sugar throughout the day, every day, to make sure that I am within my target ranges, if you have diabetes, of course. I promise to enjoy this special time of year and give thanks for my health, my happiness, and the love of my family and my friends. So that's an example of a healthy eating contract for the holidays. You can write yours however you like. Sign and date your contract, put it somewhere visible on your fridge, or take it with you in your purse wherever you go this holiday season. If you want, I can email you a copy of that exact same one that I just read. You can sign it, you can date it, you can even email it back to me so I have a copy of it to keep you accountable as well, if you want. So it is possible, this is what I want you to remember, it is possible to enjoy the holiday season while also keeping your blood sugar, your weight, your overall health a priority. Thank you all for watching. I hope that you got something good out of this. I had tons of things written down, so hopefully at least one of those things jumped out at you and you can apply it into the holidays as they come barreling towards us. Let me know if you have any questions, any comments. Thanks to everyone for watching. I will see you, I think it's next week. I'll see you next week for weight management class. Happy Thursday, everyone, or